he will only pick up the left lead. I cannot get him to pick up the right lead at all.
So this is his left lead, so that one he picks up nicely?
Yeah.
So ask him.
Come on, Blanco. Come on, get up. Come on. Come on, Blanco. I don't even know if I can get up.
Okay, so let's hope. Now get in here and...
Blanco had developed a few problems which are described in detail in the section of the video following my explanation here. But I had worked with this horse before, so I knew that he could be very productive, and he didn't exhibit any of those behaviors when I knew him months ago. So I wanted to recap a few principles that could help this horse and hopefully the viewers of this video, as well as Blanco's handlers, to make their job much more successful. In this video, we will only be addressing lunging and picking up the correct lead at the canter. Here are a few success tips. Stand in front of the horse, point in the direction that you want the horse to go with the hand that's holding the lead rope closest to the clip. Then with the other hand, you may swing the end of the rope or the stick and string or whatever other aid you have towards his head and neck. This is the steering wheel of the horse, and it would cause the horse to step to the side and lunge away from you, and at that point release all pressure and start following the hindquarters of the horse in a small circle. Let the rope be loose, have some slack. If the horse turns their head to the outside, bump it back in so that they can have a nice bend through their body and mentally be zoomed in on you. When you want to stop the horse, you would step to the side towards the nose of the horse and back your body up in order to draw the horse into you. And that would make your lunging much more successful and enjoyable, and will communicate well with your horse through your body language and your intention. Lastly, increase the energy incrementally until the horse does what you ask. Don't just repetitiously nag the horse, because what you're communicating then is that the horse is doing exactly what he needs to be doing and no change is necessary in his behavior. Ask as gentle as possible, but insist as firm and as big as necessary, and do not release the pressure until the horse answers the correct way. However, reward the slightest try by releasing the pressure.
Tell me.
Yeah. So essentially, I think he's been doing pretty good. He, with the bit, that rubber D-ring snaffle, which we have, he likes to run through it. I have used another snaffle in there that he responds to way better, but Nikki obviously wants to go by like your recommendation. So
any snaffle is fine.
Okay. So that one is working. The other issue, which has been really interesting, is that he has been refusing to go this way down the road. Recently, I got him to do it yesterday. He will do it if I walk him down the road, but he had a couple falls.
Falls?
Yeah, with me on him.
What?
Like at a walk.
How?
He just slips and falls. Like just is walking and then falls down.
He slips on the pavement? Without any fuss, just
No fuss.
he just walking
falls.
and falls. What feet buckle, front or back?
It's the back. It's the back.
It's just
foot.
like...
Yeah, it's just like down and on the ground. And then I get off, and then he's able to get back up. But it's happened like 2 or 3 times now. And he's fine when he gets up. I mean, he'll have like abrasions and stuff. But He's not lame. We had x-rays taken. And
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting. Anyway, he had a couple falls down on this road going this direction. So I have a feeling that it's an avoidance to go wherever he was that he fell.
That he fell,
Right.
yeah.
And then the other really interesting thing is one of these falls happened, and I'll show you the area over there where it happened, but it is like a transition period between the gravel and grass, and he won't even walk over it now at all. It's this big, and then Charlie's all freaked out too. And we think that there might be an electric, from like an old electric fence, like a current or something that they're feeling. I'm not sure what it is, but we actually brought the Canyons horses over here, and they freaked out at the same area.
So they know that something is there, so that's legit.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Nikki, as long as you're okay with the bit, Nikki wants us to work on this way down the road, which I have been working on, like hand talking and things, but if you have other recommendations. And then another thing that's interesting that I was going to talk to you about is he will only pick up the left lead. I cannot get him to pick up the right lead at all. It's probably just because he's been working more on the left, but
No, he was picking up both leads.
picking up both.
But in the arena,
with me. Yeah.
he was. So I wonder if it might be a residual thing of the falls, maybe
It could
that
be.
could be something that's out of alignment,
Right,
maybe, and he just is more comfortable. So how about if you lunge him? Does he then pick up the correct lead, or just from the saddle?
No, it's
He does not
won't
pick up the correct lead. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's many different things to work on.
Yes.
I think the first thing is the stopping, because you got to have brakes.
Yes, and he does give me breaks with the new bit that I got, and I can show it to you if you want to look.
Yeah. So I mean, so do you think that it would be good for you to show me kind of what's happening with you on?
Yeah.
And then I can kind of give advice, because ultimately you're going to be the one working with this horse.
Right.
So you and him have to get together.
Yep.
And my recommendations are not like this is the only way.
Yes.
Kind of thing. And I'm going to communicate that. But it's more of the principle of things rather than the technique. I mean, the technique some things could be more helpful than others.
Yes.
But it's really about energy release, how you get along in general, like how does this horse view you?
Right.
Does he have enough respect and trust? Because it's the two things are kind of intertwined.
Totally.
So let's kind of see what he does and how I can help. Cool. And I have another snaffle bit that I like if it's not the rubber, I like the one that's broken in the middle with the bone.
Yeah, I'll let you take a peek at
it. If it's like the two things,
I think it's that.
That's the most common, and it's not that it's very wrong, but it could create issues because it breaks like this versus the third piece allows it to kind of don't pinch and don't go up in the roof of the mouth, which can cause other problems that now he doesn't want to bridle. I mean, it's not going to unless the pressure is not the optimum, or the release is not the optimum. If everything else works, it doesn't really matter what bit you use.
Right.
Describe how you ask for the stop a little bit.
So I try to relax start preemptively relaxing my body, and then I'm saying whoa and pulling back gently with both. And he is very receptive to the new bit. Before, when I was asking for a stop, he was with the rubber bit, he was throwing his head up and running through it. And then I would try, and I would eventually be able to get him to stop doing the one rein stops.
Yes.
But especially when if he's cantering and I'm exercising him, I would rather have him stop nicer versus me having to
to bend him around, which which we'll go over all that. Okay, so why don't we take a break, saddle him, and then you show me what he does, and we'll go from there. And maybe the first thing that I would like to even see before we even get on him is like trying to ask him to pick up that lead on the of the ground to see kind of what really is going on with that. Okay, cool.
All right.
Let me see what happens when you ask him to lunge, and then I will step in and I would ask him depending on what's going on, or I'll give you some direction. And again, you want to have like a 14-foot lead rope, just because it's harder for a horse who's not finished to canter on a very tight circle.
You'll have to go in the office. You're going to Tuesday. Come on, Blanco. Come on, get up. Bentley. Blanco, come on. Bentley. Bentley. Come on, Blanco. Come on, come on.
Okay, why don't you switch directions, ask him for the other kind just to warm him up, the other side, and then we're gonna ask him for the canter after that.
I know, but the sleeping dog though. He's me way as me. No, pose. Come on, Blanco. Come on, Blanco. Back up. Bentley, you're okay. He's not hurting you. Stop. He's not hurting me. He's fine. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I know that sleepy dog.
So this is his left lead, so that one he picks up nicely?
Yeah.
So ask him.
Bentley. Come on. Get up. Bentley, that's enough. You're gonna get hit. Come on.
What's his name, Bentley?
Yeah.
Bentley, come here.
Over there.
Come on.
Over there.
Because he's not really helping, and he's gonna make other issues potentially. Stay here. Stay here, Bentley.
Thank you. Very nice.
Yeah, and you can encourage him and say good boy, yeah, because that was a lot to ask with the dog and everything. Not that he shouldn't be able to do it, he should be able to do it no matter what, but like some things are unnecessary to add to, right? All right, and now you can ask him again on that the easy side first. Come here. You might want to stay more in the center so he doesn't go on the pavement.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on, Blanco. Come on, Blanco. Come on, get up. Come on. Come on, Blanco. I don't even know if I can get up.
Okay, so let's hope, and then let me try some things.
Yes.
When you ask him to go to begin with,
Yes.
most people go to the back end, because that's your motor. But really what you want to do is,
Come on. Come on. Come on, Blanco. Come on. Come on. Come on, Blanco. Come on, get up.
okay, so let's hope, and then let me try some things.
Come on, Blanco.
Good boy.
I don't even know if I can get up.
Okay, so let's hope, and then let me try some things.
have him.
Okay. Because I'm being is that way here.
Okay.
And it doesn't swing quite nicely.
Okay.
When you ask him to go to begin with, most people go to the back end because that's your motor. But really what you want to do is give him direction first.
Okay.
So tell him, I want you to go left. And you do that by steering. So from the nose to the neck, the head and the neck is your steering wheel. Okay? And your stop depending on which end you want to stop. Okay? But what I want to do is we want to have just a little bit of contact here.
Okay.
And then we point. We have this end shorter. We point, walk. We say walk or kiss or whatever. And if that doesn't create a response, you swing towards the head and neck.
Okay.
Until one step, and look, I'm letting it slide through my hand, the rope. And then I'm chasing the butt.
Okay. Okay.
If he gets confused like this to offer to come in, that's okay. So I want to make it clear that that is not the time to do that.
Okay.
You have the doggy again. It's okay. So just by extending my arm, I am telling him the direction he needs to go. And then when I cross the drive line, it should cause him to lower his head and come in. Good boy. Good boy. So, oh yeah, what happened?
Talking to head and neck and shoulders.
So the head and neck is the steering wheel.
Okay.
But you have to release the pressure because I see your hand out there forever.
Yeah.
And it becomes white noise, so it doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Okay.
So when he does what you want, the head goes down.
Okay.
And then you chase the butt. So again, you offer this. Eventually, walk. You see how this time I walk. This time I didn't have to ask him with the end of the rope.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm going behind, but I want so if he gets confused, ask him again. So you kind of have to be quick on managing your rope.
Right.
But if not, just put the hand up at least.
Okay.
And most of the time it would mean something to him. And I want his nose tipped towards me, okay? Especially when you gain speed. You see how he took off?
Yep.
So he won't be able to do that if his head and if his nose is towards me.
Okay.
So if he takes it away, you bump it in, which may cause him to slow down, but that's something you work through.
Yeah.
You still, if he slows down, you still ask him to go in the next moment. But taking his head away is not a good thing, okay? Because when they get straight, that means they're not relaxed.
Yep.
And they also are thinking about leaving
Okay.
versus staying with you. And the whole point of this is not to get him tired, is for him to stay with you mentally.
Right.
So then when I want to speed up, I just point and say trot, trot, trot. And I twirl if I have to until he trots and I release. Because it's his job to keep it up. I don't want to have to babysit him and micromanage him. He needs to be a responsible boy. Trot. If I have to, I would swing. If I cross his drive line over here, it should cause him to come in and lower his head. Good boy.
Good boy. It's very nice.
Oh, yes.
I know you worked so hard.
So now, with the canter, so we're doing the easy side first, so he can get confident in there before we ask for the hard side. The one thing is gentle as possible, but as firm as necessary. So you offer the slightest pressure first, because you're never gonna get him, if you always ask with a big energy, you're never gonna get a refined small request that feels like nothing. And that's what you want to do, because ultimately, again, it's about mentally being with you. But with him getting away with not doing it, every time he doesn't do it, it becomes harder to ask him to do it. So with that, then you need to be ready to increase the energy level to the appropriate dose.
Right.
And he needs to know that this is not the end of what you have, because then he's like, well, what else do you got? I don't have to do it, right? Because it's a whole mental thing of how they release their themselves to be the lower horse to you, and it's a whole safety thing for them. They're not trying to test you to be jerks. They're trying to see if you would save their life. You know, if you're strong enough, if you're enough to do it. So with that, I came with usually my horses, all of them, if I twirl, if I point, or if I say, they would already canter. However, when you're starting, and especially if there's already a problem, you got to go back. And what I made a mistake because I didn't have the right tools. I started twirling, and he knew I was at the end of myself. I had nothing else. So then I got the lead rope that I was twirling, but it wasn't weighted. So the right tools make a difference. So now with the stick and string, I would offer, but if I have to touch him with it, I will. Because the lead mare in a herd is exactly what she's going to do. Yeah, she's going to bite and kick and strike and do whatever it takes. Okay? But I am hoping to avoid that. Right? So always try to offer the best deal possible. And then if that doesn't work, you have somewhere to go. Walk. And see how I'm still asking with that same language, even though my rope I know has to be longer. So I don't walk towards his butt. I offer the direction from the head and neck. Trot, 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 trot. So I try with my point and my voice first. I bump his nose and release, bump and release, bump. You correct him as many times as you have to until this becomes a habit. And see where he ran away over there? He's thinking about that. Up. Come on. Aha, you could then. Come on. Come on. Up. 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 And ho. Good boy. Good. He's licking and chewing, lowering his head. So what happened there is he has to try. And you have to prove to him. So the ideal thing is to not lose the request, but sometimes we do because, you know. So not a big deal. Get right back into it. So he knows that even though things got messy, he didn't get an ultimate relief. He got a relief when he did the right thing. So now, what the next thing would be is to ask him to canter just for a few strides and stop him, so he knows when I say up, if you go, life is beautiful, but if you're going to throw a fit, I'm going to keep asking you for more until you know that throwing a fit doesn't pay you back any dividends.
Okay, so a few strides at first, and then cross the drive line, let him go.
Correct, yeah. But if he was doing what he's doing, which I don't know what he's going to offer right now, you have to ask for more until it's a little bit solid.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you end on the, and again, this is part of why I'm clumsy is because it's huge. So I can't really be effective because I'm a kid-sized person. Okay, good boy.
No, I love it.
But also this, right here, I'm not picking a fight with him. So he knows that I'm a good deal. And he knows that I love him. He knows I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. So, you know, people usually get scared when horses kind of bump up and rear up and put their butt in whatever. Ignore all that and stay safe. And I'm sorry that you had to
Oh, that's okay.
run, but I couldn't release, and I know you're savvy enough to run. Okay.
I'm like, okay, get away.
Yeah, get away. Because they're gonna try to see where most likely you're gonna release. So they're trying different things. But the biggest point is that we don't release when they throw fits. We just keep asking the same question, and if we have to firm up a little, then we firm up a little. Okay, walk. So I let the rope slide through my hand. I let him take it and make it longer. You see the hand here? So he has enough room. Trot. Trot. Now if he wants to trot just like this, trot. I'd rather him have a really nice and relaxed trot. 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 Up. 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 Nope. Now get in here and same direction. Up. Good boy, and ho. Good boy.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Good boy, go.
Yay! Good boy! He's chewing on. He's licking and chewing.
Yeah, he is licking and chewing, he's lowering his head. So, he knew what I'm asking, so I tapped him on the butt, because if you allow for horses to not take you seriously, you're not helping them, you're prolonging their unsureness and suffering and throwing fits and getting worse. So I'm not saying come and beat on your horse. What I am saying is make sure the horse understands, because at first I didn't even touch him. I knew he understands that because I already know he knows this, because he's done it before in his life. And now I'm asking the same way that he was asked before, so there's no confusion. Maybe he forgot. I don't think he forgot. I think he's like, well, you have not been here in many months, and I don't know that I should, give you any power. So now we're gonna ask again, and we're gonna ask Charlie to move. Come on, Charlie. Which then, I think he's the boss of him.
He is. It's going back and forth now a little bit.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of mane pulling going on with Blanco pulling out his mane.
Okay. Yeah, that's normal stuff. But overall, he's the older horse, and I've seen that he's more dominant.
He is more dominant.
So then this, even here, for him to witness, is like, wow.
Right, like she's chasing him off.
She is, yeah, because there was no much,
Right, no.
Okay, so we try again. Now this time, if he just takes me on my good offer, then I'm gonna right away stop him.
Great.
Good boy. Walk. Good boy. Trot. Good boy. And ho. Good boy. What a good boy you are. Yes. Oh, what a good boy you are. And I can even come here, because I did tap him with this, last time. Yeah. I can come and rub it all away. So he's like, oh, this, is just her being firmer when she has to. So now I'm going to try to lose this. because I don't want any crutches.
Right.
Because now I want him to do it because he respects my suggestion. But if I have to go back to that, I will. And every time I start, I would start with this until it gets better. Until he's sure about what you're asking and he knows that you could make him. And he's sure of that. So this is going to be a good time to work on that cinch. Look at how much.
I know, yeah, I was going to say I could see the saddle.
Yeah. So you want that to be good. Good boy. All right. And every time you lead him, try to not use the rope. Try to pretend you don't have the rope. So everything is loose. When you're not asking a question, everything is loose. Same with the reins. If you don't have that, he's going to run through any bit. Good boy. Okay. He's like, I better go.
Right? Like, do I need to go fast?
Yes, ma'am. But that's kind of what you want. When the lead mare asks if the horse is sure that she's the lead mare, there's no delay. They just move. Trot. Good boy. Good boy. Trot. 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 Up. Up. And ho. Good boy. Licking and chewing again. Good boy. Good boy. Now if I had treats, this would be the time. If I had treats, I would give it right now. And I probably won't even ask for any more today, but I would repeat the same thing tomorrow. So it's a little bit fragile. So you have to come and do it and get it done. So don't mess up. No pressure. No, I'm kidding. Okay, come on in and try on the good side.
With or without?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think we start with and then try with.
Okay. So if try to give him enough room. Try to not nag him with your hand.
Okay.
Try to don't let him take his head away.
Okay. Keep his head.
But it's not keeping his head. It's bump and release, bump and release. So it's got to be like if I take my head away, you bump and as soon as my nose goes here, you release the pressure. Okay. And if I'm right here, so I'm the horse, you're you. So if I'm right here, life is beautiful. Yes. But if I go like this, even straight, not even to the outside, okay. You got to catch me when I'm straight before I do this, because if I do this, I'm gone. Yeah. Okay? So, but it's this, bump and release. Okay. And so self-carriage, I do this. Right. I straight, bump and release, I do this. So you kind of have to manage that. And try to believe that he will go. And it's your body energy too. Because if I'm doing this like up, yeah. Up, but my body doesn't have any life and direction. But if I go up,
right,
like, make it bigger. Yeah, yes, yeah. Okay. So let's see. And believe that he would do it. And stand right in front of him. And when you point, he needs to go to the side. If not, you swing it. Oh, good job. That's it. Now let him pull that slack away from you. Beautiful. Beautiful. You see how his head even goes low? That's beautiful. He needs to have that relaxed walk unless you ask him to do something else. Good job. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Because he starts, you see him looking to the outside? You need to bump and release. Okay, get more to the center so you don't send him over to and then ask for, put your hand down when you're not talking to him. Okay, and when you're ready, just say up and go. Tap him, too low. There, and release and stop him now. Ho. Cross, be very particular about crossing his drive line. Okay. Like exaggerate. Okay, and pet him right there. Go to the center again, and then pet him and make it feel really nice right now. Okay. Yeah, ask him to go there. Good job. And now pet him like crazy. Ask him to, good, pet him. Good job, that's it. Beautiful. So that halter is a little low on his nose. As a general rule, it's got to be under his cheeks versus down on his nose like that. But when a horse is like throwing a fit, as long as it's not gonna go over his nose and lips and you're gonna lose control, I almost like it to be a little low, because it gives him a little more incentive not to pull away and use his head to like pull you like this. But if you can tighten it a little bit, that would probably serve a better, just overall, it's a better fit. So I want you to do it one more time. When you ask for the canter, try to stay more in the center, so it's easier for him to pick it up. And you have this timing, 1001, 1, and smack.
Okay, awesome.
Try to let him pull it out of your hand versus you doing this to the rope, because that's a communication thing that should mean something. Stay more in the middle. And later you can play with the energy like, well, I didn't ask you to trot, so you bring your life down in your own body and in your own thoughts and intention, and kind of let him find the walk. But I don't mind him trotting right now because he's being a little, you know, at speed he has a harder time. So whenever you're ready, you decide when you're ready. You lost it. Come on. Yes, okay, good, and ho, good job. Okay, good job. It has to be even more immediate. So less than 2 seconds.
Okay, so even
at most 2 seconds. He took about 4 strides before he, but this is reward, so this is good, like pet him like crazy.
That was very nice.
And you, with your voice, you go right away, hop, hop, hop.
Yep. Ask
very like he should do it. It's not a big deal. Just brush your teeth. I don't have to say brush your teeth.
Right.
Just brush your teeth.
Totally.
And then if he doesn't brush his teeth,
then
you go brush your teeth. Brush your teeth.
Yeah. What do you think about
You know what I mean? And then it's like whack. And if you can help, I know this is hard.
Yes.
If you can help it, once he finds that canter, drop the whip down. Don't swing an extra swing. Because the faster you release is, the faster his response would, he would look to find that response every time, because that's where he found the release. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so the new things.
Yes.
You're going to point, put your hand down, and let him find that sweet spot in getting the rope out of your hand. You're going to not wait for a long time before you ask him to trot, and then not wait for a very long time until you ask him to canter, so that he can be like solid, 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 because we're focusing on one thing. Later you can play with your energy and whatever, but we need to get a lot of things done today, so just get it done, and try to ask nicely. Increase up to 3 times, swing, and you can, you know, if he doesn't respond to up, you can do whatever it takes verbally, but then swing the rope. Okay, let's do it again. And he'll take more of the rope when you ask him to trot, because he needs more room. There, now let him take it. Good job, good job. His head is, yeah, okay. Good, and ho, good job. Okay, it could even be a little more tighter, but you can work on this. You understand the principles of it. One thing that I was gonna say, this is beautiful, by the way. So anybody watching, you tell me if this horse is abused or not relaxed more than what he was when we started. Okay, when we started, his head was kind of up, like, well, I don't think I have a good life here, and I don't think you can ask me, I think it's rude to ask me to work. And now he's like, okay, oh my goodness, finally somebody can come and relieve me from the task of looking out for myself, and I can have security in that person, because she actually could ask me to do some things and I would do them. When you stop him, I want you to be very particular about it. I'm just going to demonstrate at the walk. Okay. Walk. So you see how I'm following here, I cross.
Okay, so almost more exaggerated.
Yeah, exaggerate. Okay. And if you need to, bump a little bit on the rope until he comes to you. Because if he runs to run through your stop, it's just not going to be a good thing. Yes. Which then, if that happens, you can also look at his butt. So let me just show you this too. I could literally make this shorter and try to disengage his hindquarters to find the stop. Okay. But I find that this is more effective at speed.
Okay, that makes sense.
But whatever. Okay, so now we're gonna try on the hard side.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna have my whip just as an insurance policy. Good boy.
Yeah, you're very good.
Good boy. So, because we anticipate that this might be,
yes.
And so if it's a physical issue of some sort, because x-rays, I don't know how much they would show if there's a misalignment or whatever, but
I mean, conformationally, he's pigeon-toed.
Yeah.
But
he used to pick it up.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't, you know, unless something with those falls has changed, I don't know. Okay, walk. And I want to get myself more in the middle over here.
Yeah.
So if he gets confused because I just crossed his drive line, that's okay. I just corrected, okay? Nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. He's not perfect. It's okay. Life goes on. Up. Up. Ah.
Oh, there we go.
And ho. Good boy. Oh my goodness. What a good boy. Oh my goodness, what a good boy you are. Yes, you are a good boy. And honestly, if that was my horse and I was at home, I'll leave it right now. I won't even ask for another thing.
Because that was, maybe he picked it up.
He picked it up with less delay than even the other side, and that's the hard side. So obviously, I don't think that there's medical.
No, there's no medical. It's him putting up a fight and thinking he can get
Yeah. So, but because you have to do it, now you have to come and do it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
And try to have, again, like chop chop now. Because if you allow him to delay here, then you're allowing him to delay under saddle.
Okay.
And when you ask for something, he's going to be like, well, you know, she doesn't really mean it until like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, so I might as well run off the Grand Canyon. Same thing. Yeah, I love how your hand went down immediately. And just let him take it at the trot. Good. Beautiful. And then ask him. Oh, wow. And stop him right there. Okay. Pull a little bit of his head towards you. There you go. Now pet him like crazy. And then ask him. Oh, wow. And stop him right there. There you go. Now pet him like crazy. Okay, I wouldn't ask him again.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Because you didn't even use the whip, and look at his position right now. Okay, so we're done with this whip.
Yay!